Hi, welcome to another video. We've been getting lots of questions about the changes to the UK driving test which came into effect on the 24th of November. So we thought, hey, let's do a video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what those changes are, why the DVSA have made those changes, what difference will it make on your test, and what difference, if any, it makes on your driving lessons. So as always, please click the like button, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon, and that way you'll be notified when we do a new video. Of course, a bit bright and sunny today. Let's pop that down. There we go. So what have the DVSA changed? The first thing they've done is the amount of stops you are asked to make on the test, which was 4, has now been moved down to 3, and that is stopping at the side of the road in a safe, convenient and legal place. The second thing that they've changed is the emergency stop procedure. They used to ask 1 in 3 tests to carry out that manoeuvre. They've now changed that to 1 in 7. And lastly, they have increased the amount of time that you will be independently driving on your test. So following signs or sat-nav. So why have the DVSA made these changes? They want the driving test to better reflect real-world driving, and they also want to promote the development of competent and safer drivers. So what will these changes mean for you on the test? So firstly, the test should feel like a more genuine drive. Secondly, it's going to help promote safer driving and driving independently. So you will be driving independently for longer on the test, and you will be asked to follow both traffic signs and sat-nav during your driving test. So what do these changes mean for you on your driving lessons? Well, not a lot really. The skills you need to learn are exactly the same. You don't need to learn anything new, and yeah, you'll be taught exactly the same skills now as you would have been before the changes. There's more emphasis now on hazard perception. Especially choosing to drive more rural roads, they will be looking at judgment on cornering, being aware of hazards on rural roads, which are slightly different to obviously hazards you might get in a town or a city centre driving environment. And also you're looking at, when on rural roads, being able to overtake safely, which is not necessarily something you get a big opportunity to demonstrate now, but they're going to, by driving more on rural roads on the test, they're hopefully going to be able to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive some rural roads and just talk to you about what are the hazards that they're looking for you to be aware of, and how do we, show judgment for all of these different things, whether it be cornering, overtaking, or dealing with those hazards that are presented to us. So I'm currently driving through a village near where I live, and it is a 30 mile an hour at the moment, so not having to go too fast, but there's still hazards that we have to be aware of. There's obviously some roadworks going on. I can see yellow signs, got our junction here. I know that there's a school to my right hand side, so I'm aware of that. So it's the usual stuff that we're looking for: other vehicles, other traffic, other road users, pedestrians and animals. Rural roads, more animals. So I've just entered a national speed limit. Now the examiners would expect you to make progress dependent on your visibility and the road conditions. So I can't see where this corner goes, so I'm not necessarily going to be getting up to 60 miles an hour, which is the limit. Remember, speed limit is not a target. And I can't see what's coming around the corner. So I'm maintaining a safe speed. I'm in control of the car, maintaining a good road position, but I'm still making progress. So the road is straightened out, so I can make a bit more progress now and build up speed. And I've got a junction coming up ahead where I'm going to be turning left, so I'll just do my usual mirror signal manoeuvre. So again, it's rural, lots of trees. I can't see into the road. It looks quite a nice wide open junction, but I can't see in, so I need to make sure that I'm... Oh, look at that. That was one of the reasons I had to make sure I was going a good speed. He was slightly over the middle of the road, which he had to be. He was a large vehicle, so it was right to enter that junction cautiously. Even though it was a wide junction, I couldn't see that lorry coming. So I've now joined another rural road, but this is an A road, more of a major rural road. It's national speed limit because I entered that on the road I was previously on. Got my signs telling me that things might be coming up. There is a bridge. High vehicles might be using the middle of the road because they're instructed to by the sign. So being mindful of what's coming towards me. Still making progress. It's 60 mile an hour road and I'm 54 miles an hour. Nice and straight, good visibility, nice and clear sunny day. So no reason why I shouldn't be making progress towards that 60 mile an hour speed limit. So I can see by my road markings that I have a dotted white line, which means I can cross it, and the opposite side has a solid white line, which means they can't. So this is now switched to my side. And it's because of the bends in the road. They're giving us indications of whether it would be safe to overtake or not. As we're on another bendy bit, both of us have got solid white lines saying don't try it, basically. And you wouldn't, because we're a bit hilly, we're bendy. My visibility is not far enough for me to be able to make good judgment on whether to overtake or not. But again, I wouldn't need to. I'm doing 29 miles an hour and I'm in a 30 mile an hour limit, so why would I overtake unless it was a slow moving vehicle or a horse or a slower pedestrian on the road or something. So again, I cannot see too far up the road, so I've got a solid white line. It's helping me understand that this is not a safe place to overtake. This is now solid double both sides because it is a crossroads, so you would not want to overtake as you are approaching a crossroad. We've got another change of speed limit up to national, so make progress as long as it's safe to do so. So the road conditions and visibility allow me. I'm being mindful that I'm following traffic, so not to get too close and maintain a safe following distance. Again, windy road, no opportunity to overtake. Solid white lines on both sides, so we cannot cross them. Mine's changed to dotted. There we go. So this is interesting. So this car is only going just over 30 miles an hour, between 30 and 40. I would want to overtake the car if I was directly behind it. However, the car in front of me is obviously at this moment not wanting to overtake. We couldn't there anyway. It's a solid white line. It still is. Now, would I want to overtake both on a road like this? Probably not. The opportunities to overtake where we've got good enough visibility going in front of us are few and far between, and probably not suitable to overtake two cars. So however much I want to make progress, I can't because of the vehicles in front, and I certainly wouldn't try to overtake both at the same time on a road like this. Some rural roads have lovely long straights, and if that is the case and you have got the visibility and the distance to be able to do it, if it's safe to do so, then do it. But in this instance, there's not many opportunities, so I'm not going to take that risk. My judgment is telling me it's not safe. So I just sit behind the cars, maintain a good following distance, just be mindful of everything else. The vehicle behind me is a little bit close, so I'm just going to make sure I've got a little bit of extra room in front of me. So we can see here that this is what I was talking about. Really long stretch of road, nice and straight, excellent visibility. It's a busy, again, it's an A road, rural road, and A main road. So opportunities to overtake. I might be able to see far enough, and I might have the distance to be able to make that judgment, but there's a lot of oncoming vehicles, so would not make any or not take any opportunity to overtake. Now, would I try and overtake? At this precise moment, no, because those trees are blocking my line of sight. And then there's a left-hand bend coming up, so I wouldn't overtake. And if you their driving style, they were a little bit over the middle of the road, and that's something to consider when you're going to overtake someone. They might not be as observant as what's going on behind them. Now, I mean, they're right in the middle of the road now, so I'd be a little bit hesitant about overtaking them because of their general road position. I mean, it's out of the question now because we've approached another junction and we're coming up to a roundabout, but it's something to be mindful of. The way they're driving, you wouldn't want to just be mindful of that when you go to overtake them. They might not realise you're behind them and are indeed trying to overtake them. So I'm going to overtake. Big, straight, nice road. There we go. It's another thing to be mindful of rural roads, the edges. Obviously in town centres you've got, I've got to change the speed limit coming up as well. Town centres you've got, or town driving, you've got curbs and pavements, but quite often rural roads there aren't any. There's one on that side but not on this side, so the edge of the road literally just stops potentially, so you've got more likelihood for potholes. The road crumbles obviously on the edges, so try not to get too close to the edge of roads. You wouldn't want to get caught in a rut, which affects the steering, the direction of travel or anything like that. And also it's going to be muddy and a bit slippy, etc. So yeah. So there we go. So in recap, the changes that have come into effect: one less stop at the side of the road in a safe, convenient and legal place, less likelihood of being asked to perform the emergency stop, and more driving on rural roads, and longer independently driving following sat-navs and traffic signs. So hopefully that's made it all clear for you. If you've got any comments or questions, please pop them in the video and we'll answer them. And if you found this video interesting, then please click like, subscribe and the bell icon as always to be notified when we do a new video. It also helps other people find us, as we have over 200 tutorial videos on our YouTube page. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.